everyone, it's Andrea, and today I'm sitting in my Airbnb outside after a long day at lectures. We start at 8 and finish at 6, so it's long. My brains are always half shot to pieces by the time I'm checking in to say hello, and I'm just taking a few moments sitting outside, just grounding myself before I cook my dinner, which is something that's really important for all of us because we tend to have this emotional association with food so often. We don't take that moment after work to ground ourselves and listen to our bodies and check in with our appetite before we start shoveling in food mindlessly in front of the television. And something that's been discussed a lot in the last few days is just, taking a moment, connecting. So, when it comes to food, I recommend that you relax after your long day and then eat food at the table with your family, or as much as you can in the company of other people. Food is social. It connects us all together. It gives more of a sense of ritual and connection, and connects us to the food as well, and its healing powers. So that's what I do as best I can after a long day's work. So today's been really good. I had a lovely run this morning. It's something that seems to be really important for me to do here because I wouldn't normally be getting up at 20 to 6 in the morning to go for a run outside in the half dark, but given how intense it is here, it's been something that's been really, really good for me to do. And it's the most beautiful part of the day here in Phoenix, where the air is still cool before it gets up to the 29-30 degrees that it's been lately, and the sunrise over the mountains is lovely. And for me, it's what's giving me that sense of connection, because I miss the green fields and the country lanes and my two robins, and in my home everything's very grey here, and when the sun is really intense you don't see the colors in the mountains the same way. So it's a beautiful part of the day for me, and I'm glad I'm doing it, because coming back later in the evening I don't really have a desire to get moving. The lectures were excellent today. Again, what we're learning is top quality. It's phenomenal, and it's really adding to everything that I do and giving me confirmation of the direction that I'm going in, as well as new clinical pearls to add in for helping my complex patients, because there's so much that can be involved at the root of health, and it's often hard for the patient to understand that although they may have one symptom and health condition, it's actually related to other things like inflammation, the gut, parasites, dysbiosis, the fact that they weren't breastfed, or they were a cesarean birth, or had multiple antibiotics when they were young. Family genetics is very important, life stressors, emotions, how we deal with those. But the gut and inflammation is one that turns up again and again in our environment and our ability to detoxify. So if we have metal fillings, or if we're not eating good food, this will really impact our bodies. It's very complex. The science behind it all, the pathways, the way all of our systems in our bodies coordinate within one another, but it should not be complex for you. And my job is to make it as simple as possible to figure out what's wrong with you, while giving you the message of what you need to do to change so that you get healthy. And I think that's, where it becomes an art that I'll forever be chasing to get perfect at, because it's up to me to help to figure it out, to give you the practical strategies to make it better. What's clear to me is that we are so blessed in our country that we have good food. There's a vast difference between what is available here and what is available at home, and what I would be recommending here and what I would be recommending at home. And if I was to say one thing to everybody, it's just eat real natural food, as it comes out of the ground. I don't have to tell you not to eat meat, because in general our Irish meat is mostly grass-fed. Our lamb is completely grass-fed. In our vegetables, if we can eat seasonal and local, we don't need to be worrying quite so much about organic. Now, organic is better, but at least in Ireland, when we're eating within season, we'll be doing ourselves, a favour that will work with our budgets a little bit more. We do need to read the labels, but it's easier to find products that aren't completely, full of corn or soy. Even in the supermarket the other day, I was trying to find a balsamic and olive oil dressing, and even ones labeled as that were full of soy and high fructose corn syrup and all sorts of shit. So, we're very fortunate, and I think we need to vote with our buying to maintain good food in our country. And so what did we talk about today? We were doing the physical assessment of the client. Or the patient. We spent 90 minutes going over that. Then we went on to cardiovascular and metabolic disease. That was one hell of a brainstorming session. And then our last session was with Monique Class, who is becoming my favorite clinician here. Her lectures are phenomenal, and it was about connecting with the patient to create change in their lives. And we did some fun things. We did some meditation, grounding. We did some working to bring the body back down more to a rested parasympathetic state, and we were using little dots on our hands to measure how much we were responding to relaxation, which was fun. It always becomes a competition, and that's absolutely not the point, but that was fun. I'm getting to connect more with people, which is really nice, that are even more out of the box with just it being about functional medicine. Some wonderful, gifted, intuitive people, and I'm really happy to say that one of them is Irish, and I'm really enjoying, getting to make new friends that, hopefully I can keep in touch with, and we can all create more of a support system. So I'm excited about that. And tomorrow I'm meeting up with some dietitians from over here, and they wanted to meet and look at how everything can be incorporated more in their clinical practices. So I was invited, so you don't say no to these things. It's all about meeting new people, no matter how terrifying that might be. I've learned that you say yes to things, you brave things, you jump in, you always find that it's got a good outcome when you have, the right intention, and you visualize all these things good happening, and then when they happen, you do them. So that's sort of it. It's an interesting place, Phoenix. I get a sense that there's so much disconnection here in America. The population is vast, and everyone's just driving around alone in their cars and going to their jobs and going home. And, I think that we have a bit more of a sense of community at home in Ireland, and we should fight to keep that. We should, really keep more bonds with our parents and our siblings, and, our own little local communities, and do what we can to keep that going, because it's linked with health. It's where our support structure is. It's important, and when that falls apart, we tend to see more health problems. So appreciate what you have and fight to make it grow, even if it means being the first person to create the group. And keep the positive ones in your life. That's what you want to grow. So I'm gonna have a relaxing evening. Gonna cook some food now and do some stretching and get an early night and face another day. I'm missing you all. I'm missing my loved ones. I knew it would be a bit of a journey to be here on my own for 4 to 5 weeks, and I'm gonna throw myself into every day as best I can to make the most of it. Take care, everyone, and if anyone has any things that they want me to answer or find out, or you want to learn more about what I'm doing, then just shout.